Welcome to day 3. We're doing good. Let's go to changing our camera. Okay, so today I want to talk about our inner critic radio. And so let's start by doodling you again. Doodling me. I like to have long hair and a dress. I do the same thing and I makes it easier. And then we're going to give my girl kind of a frown. You know, we just, in life, we have an inner critic radio going all the time. And we don't ever think that we can turn the channel or turn it off. So here's my simple radio. Mine's going to be kind of a boom box. And the speakers are going to be poop emojis. And we allow this radio to go on and on and on in our lives. And we believe what it's saying. So what are the thoughts? What is your inner critic radio saying to you? And I'd like you to write those things down beside some of these poop emojis. Like for me, one of mine is, you're not good enough. Or another one would be, no, I came up blank for a minute. So while I'm thinking, we're going to turn this card over though, because we're going to do another one on the back. So we're going to once again do you. And this time I'm going to give my girl a smile. And always the heart, because of how we feel, it controls our actions. So it matters. So our radio again, just a rectangle. But this time, this radio is called I Heart Radio. I Love You Radio. And out of this radio is coming love and hearts. So a heart for me would be, you're doing the best you can. I'm going to say you're doing your best because I ran out of room. Or good job. It's amazing how often we don't even give ourselves credit for the good work that we do. We like to criticize. So another one over here would be, that's not, no. You failed. Or, so let's write under this, we're going to say inner critic radio. And on this one, I Heart Radio. I Heart You Radio. And just think about what words you're saying and what we can say and do to make ourselves feel better, too often we give ourselves credit for all of our failures and we just keep going on. And when something good happens that we do, we dismiss it. We dismiss it by saying, oh, that was just a fluke, or that one doesn't count, instead of taking all of the credit that we possibly can for everything. I think we're just going to paint this side for today because I can't turn it. I can't turn it over. It will be wet, and then it will just smear my paint. So I think this one's more important. So we'll do this one right now. Another one I could write is, you matter. You are loved. What are all of the good things you can think of that you could say to yourself? And then hang this up. It looks like it might be a little blurry. Let's see if we can't fix that. And then hang this up to remind yourself just how important and loved you are. Start saying these thoughts to yourself every day and see the kind of changes that can take place just by changing your inner radio. And when you're just a little wet and it's not going to dry, when you're and then when that poop emoji, inner critic radio, shows up, remind yourself to turn it off and use these new little thoughts. Replace your inner critic radio with these new thoughts and see what kind of changes how you can feel differently in your life. We give everyone else way more grace and love and kindness than we give ourselves. And we think that if we quit beating ourselves up, that we just won't do anything. And the opposite is actually true. The opposite is true, that when you start giving yourself permission to make mistakes and loving yourself no matter what, that's when you start really creating traction in your life. You're no longer afraid of failure. You're no longer afraid of making mistakes. You keep trying new and different things. And we make headway that it would have been impossible while we were beating ourselves up. Okay, so my girl's a little wet and I'm not going to be able to finish this because she's too wet. So think about whether it's some other thoughts that you could have coming out of your inner critic radio, and then hang this up and think about it throughout your day. What can I say differently to myself, and how can I change the channel? That's it for today. Thanks for joining me.